Zara watched the human ship approach through the viewport of her command vessel with growing disbelief. The small craft looked like a metal insect against the vast darkness of space compared to the massive Korthak battle fleet that waited ahead. Her blue skin rippled with nervous energy as she studied the readings on her tactical display. 300 enemy ships armed with plasma cannons and shield disruptors faced off against this single human vessel. The odds were impossible, yet the human pilot continued forward without hesitation. Captain Lisa Martinez had been assigned to the Joint Defense Mission, along with Zara and her crew. The two species had formed an uneasy alliance after first contact 6 months ago, when the Korthak invaded both their territories. Now they were supposed to work together to defend the mining station on Proxima 7. Zara had fought alongside humans before and found them strange but effective warriors. They seemed to possess an unusual willingness to take risks that other species would consider suicidal. Their tactics often defied conventional military wisdom, yet somehow produced results. The communication system crackled to life with Lisa's voice, calm and steady, despite the overwhelming odds she faced. "Zara, this is Lisa. I'm going to draw their fire away from the station. You take your ships and evacuate the civilians while they're distracted." Zara's 4 arms moved quickly across her control panels as she tried to process what she was hearing. The human was planning to face the entire Korthak fleet alone to buy time for the evacuation. Her tactical computer confirmed what her eyes could already see. This was a suicide mission. "Lisa, that is madness." Zara transmitted back. 300 ships against one. "The mathematics are clear. You cannot survive this engagement." "Maybe not," Lisa replied, "but those miners don't deserve to die because we couldn't protect them. Someone has to make a stand." The alien captain felt her heart's beating faster as she watched the small human vessel accelerate toward the enemy formation. Lisa's ship was fast and well armed, but it was still just one craft against an armada. The Korthak had been expanding across the galaxy for decades, consuming worlds and enslaving populations. They showed no mercy to those who opposed them. Zara had seen entire fleets destroyed by smaller Korthak forces. The enemy used advanced technology and ruthless tactics that had conquered dozens of star systems. Her own people had lost 3 colonies to their advance before the humans arrived to help. "Lisa, please reconsider." Zara tried again. "We can find another way to save the miners. Perhaps a distraction while we both retreat." "No time," Lisa answered. "They're already powering up their weapons. The station shields won't hold for more than a few minutes. You need to start the evacuation now while I keep them busy." The first Korthak plasma bolts lit up the darkness like deadly fireworks. As they targeted Lisa's ship, the human pilot responded with incredible skill, weaving between the energy beams while returning fire with precision that impressed even Zara's experienced crew. Lisa's ship darted through the enemy formation like a predator hunting among giants. Her weapons found their marks again and again, sending smaller Korthak vessels spinning into space as their hulls ruptured. The human was using hit-and-run tactics, striking fast, then disappearing before the enemy could coordinate their response. "Impossible," whispered Zara's weapons officer, a young male named Crix. "She destroyed 6 ships in the first pass. How does one pilot move with such accuracy?" Zara found herself equally amazed as she watched Lisa dance through the battlefield. The human seemed to anticipate where the enemy would fire before they even targeted her. The small ship twisted and rolled through 3-dimensional space, avoiding destruction by mere meters time after time. "Begin." "Evacuation procedures," Zara ordered her crew. "Take us to the mining station and prepare to load civilians. Maximum capacity on all transport pods." As her ship moved toward Proxima 7, Zara kept one eye on the tactical display showing Lisa's impossible battle. The human had managed to destroy 15 Korthak vessels, but the enemy was beginning to adapt to her tactics. They were forming hunting groups trying to box her in with crossfire patterns. Lisa's ship took its first hit as a plasma bolt clipped her port wing. The damage readouts showed critical systems failing, but somehow the human kept fighting. Her return fire became even more focused, as if the injury had only made her more determined. "She cannot maintain this much longer," Crix observed. "Her ship is taking too much damage." Zara felt an emotion she had not experienced often in her military career: admiration for an enemy's courage. No, that was wrong. Lisa was not an enemy anymore. She was an ally who was sacrificing herself so that others might live. This was the kind of honor that Zara's people sang about in their ancient war songs. The evacuation was proceeding faster than expected, as mining crews abandoned their equipment and rushed to the transport pods. Lisa had bought them precious time with her sacrifice, but Zara could see that the humans' luck was running out. The Korthak had finally managed to surround Lisa's damaged ship with a kill formation, 20 vessels firing from all directions while she tried desperately to break free. Her shields were failing and her weapons were nearly depleted. "Evacuation complete," reported Zara's communications officer. "All civilians are aboard transport vessels and ready for departure." Zara faced a choice. Now she could retreat with the rescued miners and let Lisa die alone fighting impossible odds. Or she could honor the alliance between their species and stand with the human in her final moments. The decision came easier than she expected. "All ships prepare for combat," Zara announced to her small fleet. "We go to help our ally." "Captain, that is not logical," Crix protested. "We cannot defeat 300 enemy ships. Our duty is to protect the civilians we have rescued." "Our duty," Zara replied firmly, "is to stand with those who stand for others." Lisa chose to fight alone, but she does not have to die alone. The 4 alien vessels under Zara's command were larger and more heavily armed than Lisa's ship, but they were still vastly outnumbered by the Korthak force. As they approached the battle zone, Zara opened a channel to the surrounded human pilot. "Lisa, this is Zara. We are coming to assist you." "Negative," Lisa responded immediately. "Get those civilians out of here. I can handle this." "You cannot handle this alone," Zara stated. "But together we might have a chance." The alien ships arrived, just as the Korthak were closing in for the kill. Their heavy weapons punched through enemy shields with devastating effect, creating enough chaos for Lisa to break free from the trap. She immediately reformed with Zara's vessels, creating a defensive formation. "Glad you decided to join the party," Lisa said with what Zara was learning to recognize as human humor, even in desperate situations. The combined fleet fought with everything they had, using coordinated tactics that played to each species' strengths. The humans were fast and unpredictable, while the aliens provided heavy firepower and strong defensive capabilities. Together, they managed to destroy over 50 Korthak ships before their ammunition began to run low. "We cannot maintain this engagement much longer," Zara reported as her shields dropped to critical levels. "Our weapons are nearly depleted." "Same. Here," Lisa replied. "But look at the tactical display." Zara checked her sensors and felt her spirits lift. The remaining Korthak ships were beginning to withdraw. The enemy had taken such heavy losses that their commander was calling for retreat, rather than risk losing the entire fleet. "They are running," Crix announced with amazement in his voice. "The Korthak are actually retreating." The mining station was safe, the civilians were alive, and somehow against all odds the small combined fleet had driven off one of the most feared military forces in the galaxy. As the last enemy ship disappeared into hyperspace, Zara opened a private channel to Lisa. She needed to understand what had driven the human to make such an impossible stand. "Lisa, why did you attack alone?" she asked. "Your own tactical computers must have told you the odds." "Sometimes the odds don't matter," Lisa answered. "Sometimes you just have to do what's right regardless of the cost. Those people on the station were counting on us to protect them. I couldn't let them down." Zara felt something shift in her understanding of humans. She had always seen them as reckless and unpredictable, but now she recognized something deeper: their willingness to face impossible. Odds came not from stupidity but from an unbreakable moral code. "Your species fascinates me," Zara admitted. "You calculate the odds, then ignore them when lives are at stake." "Not all of us," Lisa replied with a laugh. "But enough of us, I guess. The universe is a dangerous place. Someone has to be willing to stand up to bullies like the Korthak." The journey back to base gave Zara time to reflect on what she had witnessed. The human had entered battle alone against 300 ships without hesitation. When asked why, she had simply said it was the right thing to do. This was why the human species was becoming legendary throughout the galaxy. Not because they were the strongest or most advanced, but because they possessed something rarer, courage that could not be calculated or predicted. They would fight impossible battles and somehow find ways to win. Zara made a decision that day. She would recommend that her government expand the alliance with humanity. These strange, brave creatures could teach her people something about honor and sacrifice that military academies could not. As they docked at the space station, Zara watched Lisa emerge from her damaged ship. The human looked tired,